Hello everyone and welcome to a Tasmanian horse racing preview, and today I'm previewing Derby Day, which will be held at UBET Park on Friday the 5th of February. Now, not only am I previewing the Schweppes Tasmanian Derby, but I'm also previewing the Magic Millions Beau Mistress Trophy, which looks to be a very interesting race, especially with high profile jockeys like Damien Oliver in the field. So we'll get to that very shortly, but first, let's preview the Schweppes Tasmanian Derby. The Schweppes Tasmanian Derby is a 6th race on the race meeting agenda, and the race is ran over 2,200 metres, and the field this year includes 6 horses. So, let's have a look at them. At number 1, we have Jewellery Letter, who is coming from Barrier 2, and this horse has won both the Tasmanian and Hobart Guineas this year at the Summer Racing Carnival. So we know the horse can win races at the Summer Racing Carnival, considering he has already won 2 feature races from the Summer Racing Carnival this season. It's got a win range of about 1,000 metres to 2,100 metres, so it can run the distance, we know that. And considering the Hobart Guineas was over 2,100 metres, this horse is a very big chance of winning the Derby. He is the second favourite, or the joint favourite, with Howard Be Thy Name coming at about $2.45 from the punters. So a very big chance of taking out the Derby for 2016. Next we have number 2 coming from Barrier 1, Sayaka, who is probably, in my opinion, a bit of a roughie, but probably a roughie to look out for. He was also in the Hobart and Tasmanian Guineas at UBET Park a couple of weeks ago over the Summer Racing Carnival. Got 3rd in the Hobart Guineas and 4th in the Tasmanian Guineas, and then before that got 8th, 5th and 2nd in race meetings at Launceston. Got a win range of about 1,100 metres to 1,400 metres, so probably can probably make the distance, but whether it can, compete and win the race is probably unknown. But in my opinion, probably a roughie to look out for. So, yeah, that's probably a roughie, in my opinion. Next we have number 3, our Chamois, coming from Barrier 7, who comes 2nd in the Hobart Guineas rather. So runner-up to Jewellery Letter. Hasn't ran much of the 2,000 distance, but obviously ran that in the Hobart Guineas and came 2nd. So another one to look out for, backed at about 750 by the punters. Could be a chance. Next we have Howard Be Thy Name, who is actually one of the favourites to take out the race, and this horse is a Darren Weir horse, so it has ran on tracks like Moonee Valley, Bendigo and Geelong. In its last 5 race meetings, it's got 1st, 2nd, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd. All of them, though, haven't been ran over 2,000 metres. In fact, most of them have been ran at about 1,600 metres or below. So that's a bit of a concern, in my opinion, considering it's unknown whether it can actually run that kind of distance. And considering next to its name, it's got a win range of 1,600 metres. It's going to be very interesting, running from Barrier 6. So going to be interesting. It is the favourite, but it's a bit of a worry that it hasn't ran over that distance at least one of the last 5 race meetings. So I reckon it'll be thereabouts, but it'll be interesting to see whether it will come first. Next up we have number 7, Travel Bound, racing from Barrier 8. Doesn't have a win range next to its name on the form guide that I'm reading. And its last 3 races he's come 3rd, 3rd and 12th. And most of them have been ran at about 1,850 metres or below. So he's a very big roughie, $41. Looks like a new horse coming onto the scene. I've never seen the horse before, so I'll be interested to see how it goes. But I don't think it'll be in the top 4. It'll probably be in the last 2, really, in my opinion. I think the betting is not really lying there. I think I think the punters will be right. And finally, rounding out this small Derby field is number 8, Special Shot, coming from Barrier 5, trained by John Blacker, backed at about $91. Its win range is about 1,350, so a very low chance of winning the Derby. Its last 3 races, 3rd, 1st, 6th, So I'm not sure if I'm giving it much of a chance in my opinion. I think the punters are right about this one. $91, but I guess you can put $1 on it and, well, if it gets up, you win a lot of money. Okay, so my tips for the Schweppes Tasmanian Derby for 2016. I've got number 1, Jewellery Letter. I just can't go past it. I think winning the Hobart Guineas and the Tasmanian Guineas, for me, does the trick. I think it's proven it can go over the 2,000 metre distance, where the other horses are kind of there but haven't really proved it, in my opinion. So Jewellery Letter is first for me. I've then got the Darren Weir trained horse, Howard Be Thy Name, who is, of course, a horse that has been running in Victoria, like I mentioned. I've got him for second, and Our Chamois, I've got that horse for third, who is trained by Patrick Payne. So, very interesting there. And my roughie of the race to finish up the Derby preview is Saka. I think being backed at $11 and the form that it's been in, I think it could possibly get up there and place and possibly come first. It's a roughie in my opinion, so definitely my roughie for the race. Okay, moving on now from the Derby to the Group 3 Magic Millions Bow Mistress Trophy. So this makes it the most important race of the day, no doubt about it. It's going to be ran at 6:23 p.m. I should have mentioned, by the way, the Derby will be ran at 5:44 p.m. Now, the Bow Mistress Trophy is ran over 1,200 metres, and it is race 7 on the meeting agenda. So let's get into the race field, the race of 15 horses. Let's get into it. We start with number 3, I Love It, who is backed at $2. I think this is about the favourite for the race. A horse who has been running at tracks like Flemington, Caulfield, all those well-known tracks, is coming from Barrier 4. Looks to be in okay form, of course, has been running the distance. In its last 5 race meetings, 6th, 4th, 5th, 9th and 3rd, so not really placing in any of those races, but coming down to I guess a Tasmanian horse race like this, it's definitely a chance of taking out and winning the race. Number 4, we've got Nautical, who is also another horse who has been racing on tracks like Flemington, Moonee Valley. 6th, 9th, 2nd, 9th and 11th in its last 5 race meetings. Coming from Barrier 5, got a win range of about 1,200 to 1,600 metres, so can run the distance very easily, but is backed at about $10. So whether it can keep up with all the other big horses is yet to be known. Backed by the punters at $7, we have number 5, Moss Beat, coming from Barrier 12. In its last 5 race meetings has come 3rd, 2nd and 4th. Most of them have been on Victorian tracks and good 3 and 4 tracks by the looks of it. Has a win range of 1,000 metres, has a chance in the race. Yeah, has a good chance in the race, backed at about $7, one to watch, I would say. Number 6, coming from Barrier 11, we have Damien Oliver on board Our Harmony, who is backed at $6.50. Of course, if it's got Damien Oliver on it, then it's definitely a chance to win the race. And looking at its form, it's got a win range of 1,000 to 1,200 metres. Is coming 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 1st and 10th in its last 5 race meetings. At number 7 we have Snippety B, who is a real roughie, backed at $51 by the punters. In its last 5 races has come 3rd, 9th, 2nd. So it looks like in the local race meetings here in Tasmania, or the trials, he's been doing quite okay. Can run 1,000 to 1,300 metres. That's his win range, so can run the distance. Number 8 we have Frolicht, who is backed at $81, looking at its win range, 1,100 metres to 1,220 metres, so looks like a horse that's got a very low chance of winning this race. Number 9 we have Shoeborn Spirit, who is coming from Barrier 6, has placed in its last 2 races, one of them being in Hobart, and it's got a win range of 1,200 metres and is backed at about $21. Coming from barrier 2, backed at $41, we have Spirit of Nia, who's got a win range of 1,400 to 1,620 metres, so it can run over that, well over that 1,200 metre range. Is a horse that's been racing locally here in Tasmania, so it is another local horse. Can it compete against the likes of Our Harmony and I Love It? Well, the punters are predicting no. Next up, coming from barrier 8, we have Erin's Element, who has placed in its last 5 race meetings, so a local horse that looks very impressive, trained by John Blacker as well, has got a win range of 1,000 to 1,200 metres, so probably a roughie in my opinion, and it's backed at $8, so it's a good chance of being there at the end of the race. Number 12, we have Chanzel, who is in barrier 7 and is backed at about $126, so the punters are predicting that this horse will be well back at the field. Number 13, we have Merrick's Beauty, who is backed at $51 coming from barrier 1. Number 14, Ryan's Daughter, who has got a win range of 1,100 metres to 1,600 metres, backed from barrier 10 and is backed at $51. Number 15, we have Magna Cash, who is coming from barrier 3 and is backed at about $101, so the punters are predicting this horse to also be at the back of the field at the end of the race. We're finally rounding out the field. We have the Emergencies, Beck and Call and Summers Day. Beck and Call backed at $251 and Summers Day backed at $301. Both looks like they can run the distance of 1,200 metres. Okay, so now time to have a look at my tips for this race. I've gone Moss Beat first, which might be an interesting call for some people, backed at $7. I just like its form. I think Robbie Griffins looks to have done some really good stuff with this horse, and with Stephen Arnold on board, I believe it's a good chance of winning the race. So that's my tip for first. I then have Damien Oliver's horse Our Harmony at second, and I Love It, ridden by Stephen Baster, at third. And my roughie for the Beau Mistress Trophy is a local horse, Erin's Element, who has been in stunning form in the last few Tasmanian race meetings that it's ran at. Looking at its form, first, third, sixth, so it's placed in its last 2 races, has been running it at that distance. I think it's a roughie in my opinion. I'm not putting it in the top 3, but it is my roughie, and it's one to look out for in my opinion. Okay, so that's it for the preview. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe also, because I've got a Hobart Cup preview coming on Sunday. And also subscribe for all the other content I do as well. I've got the weekly sports feature every Tuesday. I've also got my AFL show coming soon. I've got a whole range of other content coming soon as well, so do subscribe to stay tuned for that. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.